Tonight, breaking news in the Caylee Anthony murder case. Casey Anthony, the woman accused of killing her little girl in cold blood, was in court today and scored a huge victory. The judge ruled that it's nobody's business how a penniless Casey pays for her spectacular defense team of 8 lawyers and a slew of famous experts. But the most interesting part of this morning's proceedings, we heard from Casey herself.
Tell me your name, please. The him that you refer to, is that Mr. Baez? You say there are no other agreements selling my story, and that's true? Does any literary rights fee agreement exist between you and Mr. Baez?
Now, for most of the hearing, Casey, dressed in a purple shirt and blue pants, sat quietly as fireworks erupted between her defense team and the prosecution.
I see every day evidence that points to my client's innocence. Now, Judge, Great. Frankly, I don't see the need.
I'll have to here. Go ahead. The last statement clearly has absolutely nothing to do with this motion. We have sat for hearing over here after hearing in this case where defense counsel has used the podium as an exhibit to make comments to the press that have nothing to do. All right.
Wow, looks like something right out of an episode of Law and Order. So it would appear that the prosecution and the defense hate each other. The judge even said he's tired of the bickering. Has it gotten too personal, and could that affect justice in this case? So much to talk about tonight. I want to hear from you. Call me, 1-877-JDN says, to give me your take on this truly dramatic case. But first, to my fantastic expert panel, Vinnie Parco, private investigator, Dr. Dale Archer, clinical psychiatrist, plus Paul Callan, criminal defense attorney and former prosecutor, as well as Darren Kavanaugh, criminal defense attorney, and finally, the one and only Gene Casares, correspondent for the Legal Network In Session. Gene, give us the play-by-play on this very crucial Casey Anthony hearing today.
Well, James, here's the issue that was before the court today. It's all state of mind. Was the state of mind of Casey Anthony different from the state of mind of her attorney in regard to any financial arrangements of how she's going to pay for her defense? Now, the issue was, has Casey Anthony assigned any of her rights to Jose Baez? Rights for her literary rights, rights for a movie, rights in any capacity, even maybe photographs or videos. And if so, Jose Baez, in then making decisions for Casey and the case at hand, would they not be generated in the best interest of his client, but in the best interest of the monies received and what could benefit him? Then if she would be convicted and there would be another attorney on appeal, that could be an appellate issue, ineffective assistance of counsel. She said in open court today there have been no assignment of rights whatsoever. Jose Baez agreed. They went in then to the chambers for a closed-door session. Coming back, the judge said, as you have just said, there are no conflicts of interest here at all.
Wow, pretty fascinating stuff. We're just getting into it. Today in court, we heard from Casey Anthony herself. It's worth a second listen. Let's take a closer listen to what Casey said in her brief conversation with Your Honor.
All right, thank you. Tell me your name, please. You say the retainer agreement does not contain any clauses or parts that allow or entitle him to any rights that would allow him to sell my story or that of my daughter, Caylee Marie Anthony. Is that true?
Yes.
You say there are no other agreements selling my story, and that's true?
Yes.
Does any literary rights fee agreement exist between you and Mr. Baez?
Yes.
All right, and the other items in your sworn affidavit are true?
Yes.
All right, thank you.
All right, she's been in jail since October, but she doesn't seem despondent or morose. She is almost businesslike. Got to bring in the shrink on this one, Dr. Dale Archer. Is this an act? I mean, could she be deeply sad underneath, or is this nonchalance in such a predicament the mark of a sociopath?
You know, I mean, I think that, first of all, she's clearly proven to be a pathological liar, so she's saying that, you know, no, there are no rights, no, there's no deal, no, there's, but what do we believe? We don't know what to believe. So my personal belief with her, however, is that she is a sociopath. And I think that as a psychiatrist, you basically try to paint a picture of a personality and you fill in the pieces, And more we're starting to see that, first it was she lost her daughter, then she lied about everything. Now she's stealing money. So all of these together indicating a sociopath, and I think that for me, at least from a psychiatric perspective, that's becoming very, very clear. I do not see depression.
Darren Kavanaugh, if she's lying in this case, that would be very bad news for her defense attorney, Jose Baez, right?
Oh, if she's lying about the idea that there's some kind of an arrangement?
Yeah.
Absolutely, but I really doubt that that's the case now. Jose Baez, as an officer of the court, has met with the judge in chambers and discussed the details of that fee arrangement. And whatever it is, as Gene correctly pointed out, the real danger is that if he had some kind of financial interest that's tied to the outcome of the story, he'd be making decisions in that case that might benefit a better story rather than the best outcome here. And of course, the danger in all of this, in the prosecution's attempt to dig into that fee agreement and whatever the arrangements are, is that they would then potentially acquire information that could be used against the defense. They might learn where monies are spent or how well financed the defense is, and it seems like the judge made the right call by just dealing right with that issue about the conflict and not digging any deeper into the arrangements.
Yeah, but the big question is, where is she coming up with all this money? We still don't know. Jose Baez may have told the judge and the prosecutor in chambers, but we don't know. Casey Anthony was found to have no assets, zero, before she was charged with murder. Yet she keeps acquiring these big-time lawyers, 8 of them, and many other experts, expensive ones, for her star-studded defense team. Now, the judge today asked the question on everybody's mind. Well, listen to this.
In terms of expenses in this matter, is there any different manner or means of paying expenses other than you're paying them, or your office is paying them, or agreeing to pay them?
I think those put us in a level of confidentiality that I would prefer answering on camera.
Basically, Baez is saying he's not telling how he pays for the expenses in public, but then they went into the judge's chambers to talk privately, and then afterwards there was this heated exchange. Listen.
I'm concerned about the lease we have, and I just want to make sure that everything that was in camera stays in camera.
I shouldn't have to remind you, but what was said in camera should not be public information beyond what our court reporter did in recording it. We're all in agreement.
All right. We don't need to be reminded of our ethical obligations, and that's pretty. I'm sorry. Yes, we understand.
Thank you. That's it.
No, I'm not.
You know what? This is getting old. You're getting old. I'm getting tired.
Wow, those were fireworks. Paul Callan, the prosecutor, was really upset when he was scolded about possible leaks, but there have been a lot of leaks in this case coming from the law enforcement side. So why the indignance there?
Well, it's funny. I'm getting a Marcia Clark, Chris Darden moment here, and that is, as you recall, they were the prosecutors on the O.J. Simpson case. And you know something? They worried too much about the cameras and how the press was perceiving the case, and in the end, I think they forgot how to try a case. When I see a prosecutor lose his composure like that, and in an earlier segment that you showed, he was actually looking over at the cameras, talking to them rather than the judge, it makes me think that he should be focusing more directly on the facts of the case and not worrying about the press coverage and other collateral issues.
I would agree with Vinnie Parker. Where is she getting the money for this? Do you have any theories?
Yeah, I have a big theory. She has a family, so they can make a deal with the family and leave her out of it. So she didn't lie in court. And it happens a lot. Sometimes we get hired to get close to families on high-profile cases, because then the production companies or the literary agents, they'll have a foot in the door, so to speak. So what I think is they should get the father and the mother in there and ask them under oath what if they have a side deal with these people.
That's absolutely brilliant, Vinny, and I don't know why the prosecution didn't think of that. All right, everybody sit tight. We have more courtroom fireworks to get to. Do you think Casey Anthony's defense is gaining momentum? Call 1-877-JVM-SAYS. That's